What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stocks to Watch. And today was another volatile day, as we expected the markets to be. So the market started off with the banks, especially Bank Nifty, PSU Banks were on a tear. Even IT was doing really well. But towards the end, as you can see on your screen, the markets kind of dumped off a little bit. There was some slight, evidence of profit booking kind of kicking in. But I think it was all fine because what mid caps and what small caps have been doing, I think it's a crazy market to be in. So I think it's all bull right now. I don't really see any signs of supply. I think all that caution is gone. But with the last 15, 20, 30 minutes of action, I think we just have to be a little cautious. VIX crossing 23, 24 now. So I think it's going to be a volatile market, but I think more than the index, I think now all eyes should be on stock specific action. So with that being said, let's quickly get started with the stocks because there's a long list today. I think a lot of stocks are setting up. First things first, let's get started with Sonata Software. Now, Sonata Software, mid-cap IT name, trading near the areas of demand, basing out, breaking the last 7-8 day range properly. Top stock on my watch list. Next up is PSB, Punjab and Singh Bank. We've seen what UCO Bank has done today. We've seen what, even IOB has done and a lot of bunch of other PSU banks, including Punjab National Bank. I think PSB is also ready and set to kind of break out of this range. So pretty solid action. Now I'll just show you what UCO Bank did. This is what UCO Bank did today, up 7%. This is what IOB did today. I think it is also up to 7 or 8%. 10% IOB. So all PSUs breaking out of this, base. I think PSB has got that 1 or 2 days of extra action coming in. Next up is IREDA, perfect VCP breaking out of that. And I wanted to see some action over here. It's a circuit stock, so I'll be a little cautious with this. Next up is Cyient, another IT name. Trading near the areas of demand, very similar structure to Sonata Software. Breaks the range of the last 7-8 days of action. Perfect stock. Thermax, it's continuing its rally, and now this is ready to break out of this small little tiny base. High volume activity. I think it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in Thermax. Next up, we've got Tata Chemicals. Now, we've got a lot of specialty chemical names in today's watch list because a lot of them are setting up really nicely. Tata Chemicals, top stock to keep your eyes on. Next up, we've got UPL. UPL came out of this base very, very nicely. Fancy way of kind of breaking out the base from the bottom to the top in these two big green candles post earnings. I think now the stock has consolidated in the range, kind of coming out of that. So very, very interesting name. Oil India is another name which is making a nice base, ready to break out of this. So let's see if it triggers an entry tomorrow. LG Equipment, probably one of the best in the lot. They have had earnings also today. Earnings were also decent. Now the stock is setting up in a nice base format. So if we start breaking 660 or 664, I think tomorrow we're going to see some good action in LG Equipment. Next up, we've got Trios Shipping and Logistics, again making like a nice little tiny base over here and ready to move higher. Very, very high volume activity. Going to be interesting to see how this one performs. Next up, we've got TVS Electronics. Now, this one is probably reacting from these areas of demand. I think this base could be broken out tomorrow, and then the stock would be in a good rally because we've seen this big imbalance, and then now the stock is rebalancing currently with dried up volumes. I like it. One very interesting name that I see on my watch list is GIC Housing Finance. I think there's going to be a lot of action in housing finance companies and NBFCs. So I think one of my another set of favorites over here. Sri Pushkar Chemicals, again, specialty chemical name reacting from an order block. I think has all the ways in which you can probably trade this in this particular manner. I think there's a 20-30% move coming in this one. Now, next up, we've got Oriental Hotels, which is again reacting from an area of demand. It's going to be interesting to see on how it reacts from here, and I think there could be a move. Just a mandatory disclaimer. I am a SEBI registered research analyst, but any stocks that I'm talking about is not an advice or a recommendation. So please do your own due diligence. Next up, I think this is a very good positional trade in a quality stock, which is Pratap Snacks or Diamond. Now, it has come back to its area of demand. This stock is setting up in a very, very, very nice format. The stock is basing for a long period of time. I think from the last, 6-7 odd years, the stock has been into this range. Now, the stock has come at a very, very attractive valuation. So, earnings were a miss. But I think if you are someone who wants to hold the stock for 2-3 years, I think there's a lot of return potential in Diamond. Next up, we've got Den, again setting up in a nice base format. Maybe 1 or 2 days of contraction activity, and then this starts spiking up. Next up, another stock from the logistics space, which is AVG Logistics, a small cap name. Very, very nice base. Volume dry up, could start moving higher. Within banks, I think this is another very, very hot stock, which is which is Merchant Bank. Now, I think this is a very, very nice VCP setup, volumes drying up. I think this is a play over here, and I think this is what I'm going to be trying to play. I'm going to look to play from like a, kind of a swing or a positional perspective, where I'm going to keep a 7-8% stop, aiming to make about 30-40% on this one. Surya Roshni, again, similar stuff, breaking out of this base. I think there could be continuation. Borosil Renewables trading at good valuations, at nice areas, making this nice tight range. Earnings again were announced, which were not really that great. Earnings were a slight miss, but let's see how the stock reacts. MedPlus has been basing very, very nicely. This is definitely one of my favorite names to be, kept on radar. Utkarsh Small Finance Bank, again, similar structure. I think banks are just ready, and we might just see 50,000 in Bank Nifty in no time. Next up is Automotive Axles. Again, a very, very nice base. One of my favorites. I think Auto Axles is very, very good. Setting up really, really nicely. Earnings were good. So I think everything is kind of setting up. Next up, we've got AU Bank, and this is the last one from the list. Again, just like all banks, basing really, really nicely in this format. I think I like how it's basing, and I think it could really fill this gap really fast. So you can see AU up 10% probably in the next 1 or 2 days, maybe 3 days. And I think that's going to be the start of the journey for AU Bank. So these are the stocks that I'm going to be, watching out for. I think there's lots of action, lots of stocks setting up really nicely. So I think just keep those on your radar. Next, now, if I talk about Bank Nifty and Nifty, so I think if I go to Bank Nifty is right at this area of supply, which is going to be very, very difficult to break. But with the kind of setup the banking stocks have, been showing, I think Bank Nifty is going to outperform really, really nicely. Next up, do I see a trade in Bank Nifty? No. I don't really see a trade in Bank Nifty. I think individual stocks is what I'm going to be preferring. Same goes with Nifty. I think Nifty is a little stretched right now. So yes, the bias is bullish, but I think the risk reward is currently not favoring the bulls. Maybe if Nifty starts to pull back over here, we might start seeing a dump all the way to this area of demand. And I think this could be a good buying opportunity if you are looking to specifically trade in Nifty. So a Nifty long trade only exists here around 22,600s in my opinion. And a short trade probably could be attempted at near 23,000s. And I think more than the index stock specific action is what I'm going to be looking out for. So if you like this content, make sure to hit the subscribe button, drop a like and drop a comment. And that's my action plan for tomorrow. And I wish you a very profitable and a very good trading day tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye-bye and good night.